Welcome to More Than Renovating, a renovate and real estate podcast. Our founder, Belinda Smith, talks to industry experts to provide you with the knowledge and information you need to make renovating for love and profit your reality. Belinda will also chat to some of her Renovation Mastery members who are just everyday people doing extraordinary things, following their passions in the renovation and property space. So, let's jump straight into the episode. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm Belinda Smith from Renovate and Real Estate, and I have a really beautiful lady today with me for my special guest on the podcast, More Than Renovating, Tracey Ellis. Tracey's here to tell her story, how she got started in renovating, what she's doing now. You know, I always talk about this, renovating and property investing is all about the human journey. So thank you, Tracey, for joining me today.
Hello, Belinda. Thanks for having me.
You've got a wicked sense of humour, so I don't mind. I don't mind if this turns to one of those episodes where we're laughing along the way. But tell me your story. Like, where did you grow up? Did you marry? Did you have kids? Like, I know, but the listeners don't. So let's learn.
Grew up in country Victoria, Violet Town, small town on the highway. Dad was an electrician. I had 4 brothers. Just did all the normal kid stuff. And I think I started doing a little bit of decorating your room like every kid does. And I've been trying to think, what's my earliest memory? And that's probably it. Just, getting mum to buy the nice doonas for your bed, nice doona covers, and wanting to change them. And just kept going from there, I suppose.
You would have loved that, having all the boys.
Yeah.
And then having you. It would have been...
I didn't know any different. So
yeah.
It's just the way it was. Yeah.
That's a really common theme amongst the renovators that I speak to, is just having a love of putting things together, even as a child.
Yeah. Then, I got married, had 3 girls. Now I've got 4 grandchildren. They live all over Australia. So that's one of the reasons for doing what I'm doing and working for myself, is so I can go and visit them and spend time with the grandchildren.
When you're renovating, you can do things in sprints. Like when it's on, it's really on. I've seen your work. I know how hard you work when you're putting a property to, taking it to market. And I've also seen the quality of the renovations that you do. And I think you've become a master of your craft in a really short time, just quietly. And so between, you can go and take some weeks off to go and visit kids and...
Yeah, definitely. And that's what life's supposed to be about, isn't it? To enjoy your family, your friends, and spend time, not just slaving away.
Yeah, I slave away at the moment, but I won't forever. No, I probably will, because I'll get really bored if my head's not full of stuff, something to do. But then that's why renovating is really interesting too, because you do have a purpose and you are actually still working, but it's much more on your own terms.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And do you feel like I know now you've just done a renovation that has sold. So take us through that particular property journey. Where did you find it?
So I moved to my current location in South Australia a few years ago. I'd done a couple of properties just out of Melbourne during COVID times. So, and then of course prices skyrocketed. And then it was a suggestion to go to South Australia, where the prices were a bit cheaper. So I did that 2 years ago, and more 2.5 years ago now. And that's the 3rd property that I've just finished and just sold. So it's all going well over there.
Yeah, fantastic. So you've picked an area where you can afford, basically, because you're on your own, right? It's single. So you can afford the buy-in price. Even better if you work with somebody else in some kind of joint venture and there's more than your own funds. And that's what's happening at the moment. That's what you're reaching out to and speaking to people at the moment in relation to. But you've made it to an affordable area, doing renovations to get enough profit so that you actually don't have to work a job.
So, the idea is to just keep building up. And, that was one of the reasons I've joined your group is to be able to connect with people that can work in with me, and we can do more properties together, faster, bigger properties, just to go forward a bit quicker.
Agree. So you're in an area and you've been renovating in that area for a little while. Tell me what it's like now that you've got your established team.
Great team, and they will they'll answer my calls, I suppose. They're, of course, very busy, like every tradie is, but they know that I pay their bills as soon as they're finished, which goes a long way. They just are more than happy to come and work with me because, they know what I do and how I go about the job.
And they know that you'll pay your bills. They know that you speak to them well. You know the standard you expect of them. They know the standard you expect of them.
Yeah.
And it just becomes much, much easier.
Yeah.
And how long, after moving to where you are, away from Melbourne, away from Victoria, how soon did it take you to get that trade team together? How did that evolve?
It's just started from the first house that I did there, the first guys that I used. Yeah, of course, I got them to come in and do quotes and picked who I meshed with.
Yeah, good point.
Because you can tell when they first come in and start talking to you whether you're going to have a good relationship or not. And I've just stuck with the same guys and doing a great job.
As a single lady, do you think they treat you with respect?
Oh, that's a part of picking who you pick, I suppose. The ones that don't give you respect or treat you like they should be talking to somebody else in the house.
They look behind you for the husband.
Yeah.
Is he hiding out the back?
That's right. I'm not willing to work with them because, it's just not going to ever work.
I'm so proud of you for standing on your own 2 feet and doing this as a single lady. I realise that I have that situation. I have a lot easier journey in relation to that because, number one, Brett is really technical, so he can talk all the tech stuff with the tradies all day long. So I've got him to back up. But the truth is he works, so he's not here on the ground every day. But we talk to the tradies and he actually can introduce me as, hey, Belinda's boss, she's in charge, you listen to Belinda. Now, you don't have that. So I'm super proud of you for just working out who you'd like to work with and take on in your project. I love the way you use the word mesh with, because it's not about the lowest quote. It is about who you think is going to be pleasant in your house, on your site, on your property every day. Yeah,
definitely. You do make mistakes, of course. You don't always get the right personality on the first day. And that's just a matter of, won't work with them again.
It's like dating. Thanks for the meal. Won't be going out with you twice. I think it's the same, and you just get through like a blind date, I guess. You just get through with that particular tradie as best you can, and then you just note, I'm not working with that person again. That's a gap in my team now that I need to fill for my next job.
And it just makes things like, you can work with them but you're not meshing, but it's just a matter of when they are the right person for the right job, it just makes it so much easier.
How much DIY do you do on a project? Tell me the things you do, your take on yourself.
I've been doing quite a bit, all the demo, all the painting.
Angry lady demo.
My favourite day is demo day.
Everybody loves it. It's a classic.
Yeah. And then just a lot of the small things, filling gaps, holes, putting on towel rails. Then it's the tradies that do the electrical and plumbing and tiling, plastering.
Yeah. And you do all the little fiddly finishing off things. And painting, what about painting? Do you do all of the painting now, or half, or what do you do about painting?
I've done all the painting up until now. I'd like to move into just being more of the overseer and getting that painting done for me.
Yeah, gyprock was one of the things that Brett and I handed over real early in the piece. We decided we didn't want white powdery dust in our teeth every night and up our nose when we went to bed, and we were slow at it, and they come in and they're so fast. And then painting was the next thing, even though we love it and we're good little painters. Only if I do the cutting in and I leave him to do the rolling.
Yeah.
But it was just something, it's time consuming and it takes a lot of energy. And you think about it every night when you're sitting in front of the TV, all the jobs you've got on your list to do.
Yeah. And I'm a lot slower than a professional. So I think if I can get professionals to do that part of it, I can, move forward a lot quicker.
I really love the colours that you've chosen in your last renovation. You took that property to market looking really, really nice. So talk to me about the colours, how you've come to, work on those neutrals and what works and how you choose those colours.
Yeah, it's just staying with the neutrals so that it's a property people can walk in and feel like they can put their own stamp on it. That's with gardens, I always just tidy them up because I think that's the first place people, when they're looking at a house, they feel like they can put their stamp on a garden straight away. Yeah, so it's always just something that's not going to be offensive to most people. I try to stick to.
And then you add your colours in.
With the styling.
And the furniture. What's your favourite white, your go-to white interior?
I've had a few, actually. I think I've tried the Lexicon a couple of times, but I think, it's changing a little bit now because it throws a little bit of grey-green. So it's changing a little bit. So, next one might be a little bit different.
I think Lexicon's a really popular colour. If you ask the guys at the hardware store, it's one of the most requested whites, but it is a cool white. And I always think that if you're trying to get people to connect emotionally to a property, then leaning towards the warmer whites is just a safer bet. So, and I see a lot of influence at the moment. There's a whole cushion collection that's just come out called the buttery look. So we're moving back into some of those warmer tones.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get to the yellow again, but definitely warmer.
Hey, the young people, I can't go yellow again. I just, every time I look at it, I think about what I painted out in what I painted in 1988 and painted over in 1992.
Exactly.
So I think about it, but the youngies haven't experienced that. So it'd be interesting to see how far into the yellows we actually go.
Yeah.
All right. So you chose to do your doors. You painted your doors a deeper colour than the walls. What colour did you use on those doors, if you can remember?
It was called Repose Grey. And doors, I do have go down to the paint shop about 10 times trying to get the right colour. And it's a matter of painting them, see whether it's going to work, that colour's going to work or not.
They look stunning in the photos. A soft, warm grey.
Yeah, and it's just a little bit of a contrast to the house, so it's not just white.
Yeah, and very market acceptable and perfect if you've got an older house and you're doing up those doors and repainting them. It's just perfect to have a little pop of colour, and I'm noticing a lot more of that coming through too, is that the doors aren't just all white.
And that's just something that, it is not to the liking of the people who buy the house. It's something that can be changed.
You're in
really easy.
Yeah, I agree. You're in a regional place. Is it difficult sometimes to get product? What do you do and where do you go to buy your product?
No, it's fairly good here. That's a town that's got most things. So, brilliant little paint shop. Yeah, the only thing that's not here is a Bunnings, I suppose. So you have to travel into Adelaide, a couple of hours away to go to Bunnings. But there's a hardware, so that fills up your space.
Is it just a locally owned hardware, or is it like a brand, like a Mitre 10?
Mitre 10.
Yeah, okay. So you do have a hardware that you can lean on.
Yeah, definitely. And you definitely need it. So there's nothing really that, if you're a bit organised, of course, that is not here.
And do you get faster at selecting product?
Probably just depends on your ideas of where you're at, whether you've got a good idea of what you're aiming for in that house. If you always leave it up to the house a little bit to tell me which way to go, which colours to pick. And it does depend whether that's all available, that in that direction that you want to keep that style for your house.
Yeah, I love that. I think so many people have a picture of how their renovation is going to look, and then they buy a house. And I always think it should be the other way around. You buy the house, you work with the character of the home,
Yeah.
try not to change, stuff just because you can, because we can change anything we like, but, just breaking down what really needs to be uplifted and what you can leave. Tracey, you're very, very clever at that. Guys, if you wanted to see Tracey's last renovation, I did just a short video tutorial on it a couple of days ago, and you'll find that on YouTube. So have a look at the changes that she did make to the property. She did a great job. And that was just the last one. So tell me about the couple before. What were they like, and what type of homes do you tackle?
I'll have a go at anything.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, no. That one you showed me that didn't have like floors.
Yeah, the
that no one else
shells.
would buy. I'm like, this is a big job, Trace.
But sometimes when they are just a shell, you can see what you're working with before you take off the plaster and see, whether the white ants have been in there. So sometimes it is easier just to start with bare bones. The first little house I did was a 100-year-old little cottage, wooden tin cottage. So that was a really cute little place, and came up really well. I had people, when I was outside painting, walk past and thank me for doing up the little cottages.
So people in the neighbourhood get really attached to seeing an old place, and they also feel excited. Like they feel the same excitement when they see somebody taking care of something that they've looked at for years, that they've known needs, doing up.
That's right. And there's lots of tumble down places here. And people would just walk past and say thank you for keeping it and making it look like a little house that you'd be happy to live in.
Yeah. And they're proud to have in their neighbourhood something that's done up and looks nice.
Yeah, and down their street as well. Like everybody wants to have their street looking nice. And yeah, that's a big part of being proud about where you live.
And those character homes, do you feel drawn to those to do them up?
Yeah, I always walk into a house and it's got to have that feel. I can't explain it, but you know when you walk into a house how it's going to come up. So, yeah, some places I have just turned around and gone back out the front door straight away.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they're just too boring.
Yeah, too boring, light, not enough light.
Yeah.
Layouts are all wrong. Yeah, I agree. You feel the feels, and when you get a home like that, you already feel the feels and it's not done. That's when you do them up and people walk through and they're instantly connected.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's why people buy houses, isn't it? Because they walk in and they feel connected.
Yeah.
They feel like, they can make that their home.
And are real estate agents in the local area aware of what you do now? Have you built a relationship with the local real estate agents?
Yeah, I have got a good relationship with the agent that I use now. It took me a little bit of time to get that connection because a lot of them they don't know your work. But yeah, after they get to know what you can do, they take you seriously, know that you're not just there to look through the house and then never hear from me again. But yeah, so it's really good having an agent on your side. It helps because I like to do a lot of research about where I'm going to buy, whether it's going to be the right one with the right amount of profit. So it's really good to bounce it off somebody else.
And when you know your numbers as well as you do, it's also really helpful for those agents or an agent to bring you properties perhaps before they even hit the market, because they know you know your stuff to make a judgment call pretty straight away.
Yeah, well, it fills in that gap of if I look through a house and say to them, what do you think it's going to sell for once it's done up? If they don't know how you go about your renovation, they can't really accurately give you an idea.
So they get to know, like the real estate agents that see you in the local area, they get to know how you renovate a property, like to what standard, and then they know what properties you're going to be interested in, essentially, because they kind of get to know you.
Yeah, although I don't know whether there's anything that they've said that, no, that's not one for you.
That's because you'll take on or look at anything.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're prepared to take on the
Yeah.
tragics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the opposite way. If there's too much renovation that's been done to a place, then that's not for me.
Oh, me too. I agree. If someone's already had a go, particularly if they've started to fill in back verandas and they want their money back for the work that they've done, but they actually haven't done a great job, they've just added on and added. They're the difficult properties. So, yeah, I'm on the same page as you. You're better off to have a go yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start from scratch.
Yeah, definitely.
So, how many would you like to do ideally in a year?
Yeah, 3 or 4 maybe for a year would be a good number.
And that's quite significant income based on the numbers that you're already running, like based on the profit that you're already receiving from the ones.
Yeah, I would live fairly comfortably doing it like that. Yeah.
Agree. With the teams on the ground that you've already got relationships with, that you can trust to, as much as we trust anyone, to go and do the work to your level and your standard, and real estate agents happy enough to take your properties to market because they know that they're presenting really well.
Yeah, and that's the feedback I get, that they're so thankful that it looks the way it does and they don't have to cringe and as soon as they open the front door to let people have a look.
Try and sell something that's ugly. The poor real estate, sometimes you're like, how do they do it? You know?
Yeah, they've got a really hard job sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, you do make their job easy for them. What's renovation given you personally?
Probably confidence that it's achievable. What I've done, I don't like to fail, so the same as anybody else. So try to put as much time and effort into the research before, and just being able to, I suppose, coordinating. That's another big skill when you're doing this sort of stuff.
What do friends and family say about your work?
They're pretty pleased for me. And of course, they don't know at the very start. They don't know that it's all going to work. But yeah, so they're pleased that now that it does work for me.
They go from worried, why is she moving? Why is she moving for this particular purpose, changing locations? It was a big deal what you did. And now they're like, oh, we get it.
Yeah.
Pleased for you.
Definitely.
So what do you intend on doing? Staying or moving back closer to one of your kids? Like what's the future hold for Tracey?
It's all unknown.
That's all right.
Yeah, happy to keep doing it where I'm doing. Also, I look everywhere. I look at lots of possibilities. I do love the part of living in different places and experiencing different townships. That's just something I've never been worried about, which is not for everybody. But yeah, so I'm happy to have a look anywhere and everywhere.
And just get going. And if you had to go to some part-time work, if you wanted to, we spoke about this, what would you do?
Well, yeah, I did have an interview just before my house sold to work in the grain silos.
Oh, did you? Because we were talking about used to work bars and pubs, and I think it's perfect for that. So much. You'd be so much fun behind a bar. You and your wicked sense of humor. I'm super proud of you, Tracey. I've seen you grow a lot. Like, I know most people do have renovation in their background sometime at some, skill level when they come to work with Renovate and real estate. But I'm so proud of the progress that you've made. Feel like I've been along the journey with you every paint stroke, and I just enjoy just watching the whole transition. I love watching people's personal transition in confidence and being organised, like you said, and being able to communicate with trade crews, select really good fixtures and finishes, as well as I love watching the house itself go from something that's ugly and a bit messy when everyone says, this is the one I bought to do, right through to what you did with that last property, which is just clean and neat, and it sold really well for a decent price in that community as well. You were right up there with the top sales figures. You weren't playing down in the bottom end of the market. So to take a property right to that top level is just commendable, really commendable.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me, Tracey. If anybody would like to work with Tracey, you can either find Tracey via me. I'm always happy to put people in touch. But Tracey is on Instagram at old to new house transformation. So I'll just break that down, old and the number 2, new house transformations. It's a green profile, a little green symbol will come up. That's Tracey's. Follow her on Instagram. She's promised me she's going to post post all the photos up there. I nag her to do that. So you get to see the work that Tracey's able to do. And yeah, I think, if I were to joint venture with anybody, Tracey, I'd back you all day long.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.